Oh my gosh, we're going to have such a fabulous show today. I've got a lady on that you can't even pronounce her name. I know, it's crazy. But Jody Pogorzelski, did I just totally destroy it?
You're pretty close.
She goes by Jody Pogo. Isn't that much better? That's so much fun. She's a passion coach and a speaker and just amazing. People that I love hanging around. You know, every time I have someone on this show, it probably blows you away because their expertise and who they are and just their brilliant personalities just shine. And you're like, ooh, and now I'm talking to a passion coach, you know, how do you find your passion? And that is one of the things that I hear from everyone. Well, I haven't quite found my passion yet. So hopefully she can light you a little bit. And I would love for her to kind of dig right into it. First of all, telling us, Jody, how did you find like your passion and how did you change your world?
Well, I found my passion because I lost it. um, there was a point in my life where I lost myself. I lost a sense of myself. I was stressed, overwhelmed, I mean, to the max, where I was just experiencing life and it's like painful almost in every sense. I wasn't enjoying I worked at a great place, but I wasn't enjoying going to my job anymore. I was in a very deep loving relationship, but there was a lot of difficulty and my health started slipping and, as a single parent, so I had all these things going on, and somewhere in the mix of all that was going on, I lost myself. I lost my sense of humor. I lost my passion. And I suddenly just woke up and went, I don't know who I am or really what I'm doing anymore. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then my health slipped even further. It slipped to the point where I woke up one day and I fell to the ground and didn't know what was going on. And it took me a while to get up. And a few months later, got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. My body was doing all these crazy things where I couldn't walk one day or couldn't eat one another days. Different parts of the body were locking up. And my life changed drastically in a matter of what felt like a month, but it was actually a gradual progression that I didn't realize was actually occurring. And so
I think a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people, I think, walk through life thinking that every part of their life is going to be this natural, happy state.
Yeah.
And I find that people do lose themselves.
And it can be more often than not, but when you're in the midst of overwhelm and stress and stuff's going on, you can't see that happiness. You can't see that joy. You're focused on whatever's going on around you. And it takes its toll on you, or it takes control of you. And so I finally felt like I had no control and went, I think I need to get control again. So I started letting go of the things that were really stressing me out, because, when my health crashed, it was to me a cosmic 2x4 across the face saying, take care of yourself, because I was focusing on everybody else most of the time, making sure that everything was trying to be done at the office and trying to make sure, everything's taken care of in my relationship and trying to, take care of everything and kind of forgetting about myself a lot. And so it was that moment of, oh, I think I really need to focus on me, because if I don't, light bulb moment. If I don't focus on me, I'm not going to be able to take care of everybody else anymore. Those are, everyone relies on me. And if I can't, when I crumbled, there was no one there to pick me up. So it's like, okay, I need to figure out how to, do this. And so I started letting go of the things that, didn't serve me. I don't recommend this, but I walked away from my job because I was very stressed and I wasn't enjoying going there and didn't feel that I was able to bring, myself to the table there anymore, and didn't want, so I stepped away from that, cashed out my little retirement fund, retired early to go see some doctors and find out what was going on and find out really, what I was passionate about. And I came across a coaching course and fell in love with that and made a split decision, which I had never done before, and said, I'm doing this, and paid for it in full, and studied with the authors of the Passion Test to offer that as a tool in my coaching course, and tapped into all these things that lit me up inside and got me excited, and started doing things I enjoyed, like, doing stage plays and different things, and started getting back into who I was, and then let go of the relationship, because the relationship was, there was a lot of love, but there's also a lot of stress and a lot of things that we weren't in alignment. We never were to begin with. And so I had to realize that we were never going to be, connected that way. And so that was another piece that had to go. It's just when you realize that you're being inauthentic in your life, you have to let go of the things that don't match you. And so I started letting go of the things that weren't who I was, or didn't hold up to the standard of what I, realized I deserved or what I wanted. So
I see that a lot with speakers. Obviously, I know a few.
just a couple.
And I see that happening on stage. They're trying to be someone they're not. Right? They're trying to get a message out that isn't their own voice. They're trying to walk away, and they're trying to look a certain way, and they're trying to do all these things and be perfect, and they lost who they are. And they wonder why they can't connect with people, why they have such a hard time getting people interested in what they're doing, because they're not really owning their own voice.
Right. And I think that's key, and I went through that too. As I was studying, I'm like, oh, if she can do it, I can do that. And I try to do that that way. I'm like, but that's not me. I tried different marketing methods, different things. And, certain sales pitches didn't work for me. Although, I'd have a coach and say, you have to do it this way. And I do it that way. And I wouldn't get a client. And I'm like, well, what's up with that? I did it just how she said, but it didn't feel right for me. It's not my personality. It wasn't my language. You have to know who you are and speak your language and speak from your heart and not from your head. That's the big difference.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people, they don't look at reality. And I'm a real big believer in realism. Being realistic with yourself, but pushing yourself, and realizing that you have moments. And I love what you said about that. You had to really find out who you are and get back to where you wanted to be, or even make, further ahead.
Right.
Because I know
I didn't really want to go backwards.
Right. And I know I had cancer, and it was thyroid cancer. And one day a lady's like, oh, well, you must not have been getting your voice out there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, at that time, I would go through whole days without saying one word to anybody. I know most of you are going, yeah, right. But I found my voice. Right? But, we often manifest our own illnesses because we're not allowing whatever it is, we're keeping it cooped up. And I love that people are hearing this message so they can see that they're stressed, or they can see that they're not getting their voice out there, whatever it may be.
And you're so right. The manifesting your own illness, when you withhold emotions, they're part of your makeup. They're part of the energy, of your body. And if you're keeping it inside, it stays somewhere. And a lot of times it stays within your body and starts creating this little wreaking havoc within your system, and what I didn't realize, I'm not an angry person, but I had a lot of anger that was stuffed down inside, and I had no idea it was there. And as I started uncovering pieces of myself and going through my own training and my own coaching and things like that, a lot of stuff came up that I didn't know was still there from, childhood, up until through the relationship and different things and different things you have no idea that's still there because you repress it. People don't want to feel bad. So they try to push those things away. But if you actually let yourself go into it and allow yourself, give yourself permission to feel those things, then you can finally let them go and get into being who you are and choosing how you want to feel.
So when you say, you can, obviously you have a passion for people and helping them. So what's some tips, techniques, some ideas? How can you change the world? What message do you want to bring to everybody?
Well, I think one of the main messages is to be yourself. And if you don't know what that is, then start searching. Any emotion that you feel is a choice. They don't always feel like a choice. I mean, sometimes, I take that back. Emotions can be just a reaction to something. If something makes you sad, you feel sad. But the choice comes in as to how you react to that beyond that, then, as to whether you want to hold on to that or change it into something else. There's always a choice to be had where if something terrible happens to you, you can choose to hold on to that happiness, forever and let that, take you downward into a spiral, or you can look at maybe what the gift is in it. If there was some sort of gift in the sometimes a traumatic event does bring about some kind of a gift. Maybe it's a community, brings a community together or something like that. But looking at, what maybe the gift was in the thing that happened, or what lesson you learned from that, and move on, because it is something that's in your past. And if you keep the past, then you're always staying in that place, never moving forward. So choosing to be happy, choosing to find happiness, choosing to find love. And I think the most important thing is to find what you're most passionate about. Passion is a huge thing that people, underestimate. And sometimes it's used in a negative way. Too much passion can create, craziness in the world. So if you can take that passion that you have and put it towards something good and something that feels good for you, then you've got something. A lot of people take their passion, they have so much passion that they don't know what to do with it because they never took the time to step into who they are, and they end up doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right.
And
yeah.
so,
I can see that.
If you can take the time to really think about what's most important to you, what really makes you feel good, what lights you up inside, that's where the world begins. That's where your world changes.
And I like that, because if it's about lighting something up inside of you that's positive, because I see a lot of people that light the negative match, and I'm like, you need to stuff that one out.
Yeah. And that's just because they don't know what to do with all of it. They don't know what to do with all that passion. They have so much passion, they don't know what to do with it. So, if you can get clear on, number one, who you are, and what you bring to the table, and underneath it all, underneath it all, I believe that we're all love. There's love in there. It's happiness is in there. Joy is all in there. It's just gets covered up by all this junk, throughout life, all these experiences and relationships and different things that we go through. It's very easy to lose a sense of yourself. It's very easy to leave parts of yourself behind in a relationship, or leave parts of your self-esteem behind in a job, or different places. We kind of make little deposits as we go along, and if you forget to collect them back up, you wake up one day and you're kind of like, where's the rest of me, or where did I go? So, finding those pieces and parts of yourself, and putting them back together, and really digging deep into what you're most passionate about really can change your life and light you up inside, because it's a spark that leads to a flame. When a fire burns, it spreads. So the more passionate you're living your life, the more excited you are, the more you are being yourself, the more you are enlightening the world too as you go along.
I know my favorite quote is, life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And I think a lot of people get stuck there, like searching, and it's hard to look outwards for yourself. Right. And so when I heard that quote, I'm like, oh, who do I want to be? It's really what it's saying. Right. Who do I want to create myself as? And then it gave me this whole dynamic to really make myself whoever I wanted to make myself in an authentic way.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
So do you find that some people think that it's like a selfish importance, like they're focusing too much on themselves if they're trying to find their own passion, instead of trying to do something for others? Because I know for women, we always want to do things for others, which is fantastic. Right. But at some point, it's got to come back to us, don't you think?
Yes.
It's like a balance.
Yes. In order to be able to serve others, you really need to be empowered within yourself. Right. The more self-power you have, the more you're able to step up to the plate, the bigger you can be. So if you don't focus on yourself, and you don't be selfish and take care of yourself, for instance, a mom taking care of her kids. If the mom is spending all her time taking care of her kids and her husband and never takes care of herself, what happens? She gets worn out. She gets burned out. She gets left behind. But a mother that takes it, a little time to take care of herself, making sure her health is good, eating good food while she's taking care of the family, giving herself that downtime, the more empowered she is, the more excited she is about life, the more her family gets to benefit from that. The more empowered, the more excited you are, the more alive you feel, I mean, we're basically walking conduits. If you walk into a room and people are negative, you can feel that negativity. You walk into a room and there's a party going on, you can feel the excitement. You're like, whoa, you can feel that. It just takes one person to have that excitement, that drive, that passion to change the lives of people around them too. So the more you focus on yourself, in my opinion, and many opinions of my friends and people that I know and those that I study from and study, under things like that, the more selfish you are in taking care of yourself, the better you are to go out and serve and to be a better person and to be a better mother, father, son, daughter, lover, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's important because happiness really and joy and love, it all comes from within. The more that you can bring that out within yourself, the more you have to share and the more you have to give. So
Well,
it's not selfish. It's serving the world basically when you're doing it that way.
exactly. And I think the challenge is that people get confused with confidence with being arrogant, right? And most people don't like the idea of being arrogant.
Right.
Well, you don't have to be, but you have to be confident. Nobody will buy from you. Or, so if you're, trying to sell lipsticks and you're like, well, you can kind of buy this if you really want to look at, I mean, really? Or I met a gentleman the other day, and he was selling insurance. And I was like, "Hi, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I sell insurance, and do you need a quote?" And I'm like, "No, not from you, thank you." Because people want to feel that passion. They want
Yeah.
to see that you care about them. They want to see that you love what you're doing. That's what confidence is.
Right. Yeah, and there's a difference between tooting your own horn and there's between tooting your horn just to toot your horn and tooting your horn because you know what you have is valuable to give. There's a big difference in that.
Exactly. Because if no one knows how amazing you are, they won't know. You have to tell
Right.
people, but there's always ways to do it without coming across as well. Yes, I'm the
Yeah.
CEO of the Public Speakers Association, and I win this award, and I win this award. No, it's
Right.
hey, how can I help you? I'm the CEO. I
Right.
mean, it's the way you approach life. I think it is.
Right. I mean, it's okay to say I'm freaking awesome, as long as you're not saying, "Well, I'm freaking awesome." What are you gonna do about it? There's a difference.
Exactly. And it's hard to be people to perceive you as arrogant if you're smiling.
Yeah.
So I always try to think about it as if I'm on stage and I have to toot my own horn, right? We've got to,
Right.
pat ourselves on the back a little bit so people know who they're listening to.
Right.
Say it with a happy smile that you are happy that you did all these things.
Right.
I see people like, oh yeah, I did this and this, and they're trying to go through the list really quick like it's a resume, and you're like, are you not proud of that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay to be proud, and there should never be guilt, involved in where you've come and what you've done, because you've worked hard to get where you've worked hard to get where you are, to be the top notch, lady at the Public Speakers Association. It's okay to be proud, and for some reason we're told we shouldn't be or we shouldn't express that, but in my opinion, it is okay. You should be proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished because that kind of negates what you've done without having that.
Exactly. You got to own your fabulous business.
Right. You got to own it.
Exactly. And you got to let other people own their fabulousness. Right?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I can't handle. And I think that's really the difference between confidence and arrogance is when you think you're the only one that matters versus you want to have power everyone else to be as empowered as you are yourself.
Yes. Yes. There's a big difference in that.
I got to remember that. Oh my goodness. So I know that you're going to be giving us something really amazing away. What is that?
Yes, well, I have two things. Anyone that feels, throughout that has watched this and felt like maybe they have felt disconnected, that they did lose themselves somewhere along the way, really wants to get back into tapping into reconnecting at the core and finding they're reclaiming their voice and their power and regaining their sense of self, I'm offering a free reconnection session with me.
Nice.
And it's just a one-on-one on via phone or Skype, and they can go to my website for that, www.jodypogo.com /coaching. It's on my coaching page. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a little link that you click, and you can pick a time that works best for you and schedule right up with me.
Perfect.
And then the other gift that I have, because maybe not everyone's going to connect with that, is I have a free report called Creating More Joy in Your Life.
Ooh, nice.
7 steps, seven tips. What is it called? 7 tips for creating a life that feels better for you and those that surround you.
Nice. So how do they get that?
They can also find that on my website. It is www.jodypogo.com. That's JODYPOGO.com /create joy.
Nice. So make sure everyone jump on her website, check her out. You know you're going to love her. You know you want her to come speak at your next conference and really connect. You know, I love it when people reach out and connect with me. You know, they're like, "Oh, I just saw you on, your show," or "I just saw you on such and such show," and they start following me on Facebook or whatever. Reach out and find people that way. It's so much.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. Look up Jody Pogo. You'll find me.
Nice. I like you shortened your name. It makes it so nice.
It makes it so much easier, yes. I even, it's easier for me too, so.
Right? Is that your married name?
No, that is my maiden name.
Oh, you could have given the excuse that you married into it.
Yeah, no, I love my name.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
It's who I am, and I own it.
Name and all. That's fantastic.
Right.
Well, thank you, Jody, for being on. I really appreciate your time. And please come on again. We'd love to hear more.
Oh, thank you, Tanya. Oh my God. Thank you, Tanya. It was my pleasure. And I will definitely. This was fun.
Perfect. All right, everyone. You'll want to come to our next one. Make sure you take advantage of Jody's incredible offer. And then I will see you on our next show very soon. Bye. Bye, Jody.